I've felt it. You've probably felt it. Photography bookings seem to be a little bit slower this year, so I decided to pivot. But before I get into that, have you ever launched something new and wondered, how in the world am I ever going to market that? Well, that was me this year. I have been a portrait and boudoir photographer for 14 years, and this year I decided to launch a black and white style portrait booth for events. That needed to be marketed differently than my portrait and boudoir sessions at the studio. So how did I make that shift? When I first launched my black and white portrait booth, I knew I needed to stand out. This wasn't your typical photo booth with photo props, a cheesy background, and an iPad. This was a high-end editorial style experience. I knew I needed to market it differently than my portrait and boudoir sessions because it was a completely different audience. That means I needed to connect with wedding planners, wedding venues, corporate businesses, and even wedding photographers. I knew relationships, not ads, were going to be the key. So let me share how I made that shift. If you're an introvert, don't worry, I'm not going to make you go to some big networking event and pass out business cards. This strategy is actually a one-on-one coffee date. I call it coffee date networking. I've talked about networking in other videos, and if you need help in that area, go watch this video. I'll drop it in the description below so you can watch it later. My system was really simple. What I did is I created a spreadsheet, and then I went out and searched for every wedding venue and every wedding event planner in my area, and I found their email addresses and phone numbers. Then I reached out via email or a text and invited them to coffee. It wasn't to pitch my service, it was to connect. And then I would ask them about what they needed and what their services were all about. Then I explained what the portrait booth was and how it could elevate their client experience. These conversations build trust. So not only do they see me as a partner and a vendor, but they also see me as a person. And these meetings were just the start. So let me share a simple approach I used during these coffee dates that made people want to work with me. I offered a referral commission. Everybody loves to feel valued, and I wanted to show these wedding venues and event planners that I valued the referrals that they were sending me, so that they did earn a commission, not a bribe, for my way of thanking them for thinking of me and referring me to their clients. You can do this too. And it doesn't have to be something big. It could be $50, $100, $200, or even a percentage off the sale. That small incentive deepened the relationships and made them excited to recommend me. Word spread because we had a real conversation, they trusted me, and they knew that I valued their contribution. Pivoting isn't just about creating a new service. It's about building relationships that connect that service to the right people. And sometimes the simplest, the most human approach, sharing a coffee, is what works best. So that's how I pivoted this year with my portrait booth, and why coffee date networking paired with the referral commissions became my secret weapon. If you've ever struggled with marketing your new service, here's my final piece of advice. Don't try to do it all at once. Schedule those one-on-one coffee dates. Make those one-on-one connections. That's where you're going to build momentum. Did this video inspire you to create a spreadsheet and start listing a whole bunch of businesses that you want to reach out and have a coffee date with? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'll continue sharing my journey with the portrait booth and also how I built my business from being a $50 photographer to averaging a $3,000 sale. I'll see you next time.